Hi guys, so welcome to another episode of 406 Speedway. Um, and so today we're going to deal with the wheelie bar kit that come from Viper Scale. So if you're a drag racer like I am, like myself, and you've had the issue of putting your car on the track and that green light hits off, and all of a sudden your car is doing the truffle shuffle down the track, the rear end's just bobbing all over the place and your front end has lifted out of the slot, causing your car to derail, hit the hit the side of the track, and just basically embarrassing itself, during the race. But so I ordered up a set of wheelie bar kits from Viper Scale. These are fairly cheap on their website. They're not too expensive, and I've already taken the liberty of mounting it on my DHL, and it has helped out tremendously. And it's a great improvement over the stock chassis, especially if you don't have the magnets up front as some of the newer DR1 chassis have. And like I said, this is a Jag Hobbies DR1 GT chassis. It does not have the magnets up in the front pocket there. But let's go ahead and get into it. Um, so I'll just go ahead and show you what comes with the kit here and just get into it. And this kit comes with three wheelie bar kits. I've got two here left, and I've obviously got the one on the DHL car. And it comes with these two, I think these are 1 1/16 metal bars, which are really easy to bend. But we're going to stick this here on this Matt Hagen Power Broker car. It's one of my favorite cars. I've already put the Pro Track drag rims on there. Really awesome car. And so we're going to go ahead and stick it on this one here and see if there's any improvement over it. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and put this wheelie bar kit on my Matt Hagen Power Broker car with the Pro Track rims on there. I don't know why I like to point those out because it really snazzes up the car. And man, it's just sometimes it's almost too pretty to race. Sometimes I just let her sit and stare at it. Anyhow, one thing I would like to suggest is when you're buying this wheelie bar kit, I would suggest in buying this. It's kind of a block to help you shape the wheelie bar into the proper width and length, depending on how long you want your wheelie bar. It just makes it that much quicker to be able to put on your car. Anyhow, so we'll go ahead and take the body off here. This is, like I said before, this is the Jag Hobbies DR1 GT, and needs a bit of cleaning, that's for sure. So on the underside of your body there, you can notice the screw that holds this plastic, parachute wheelie bar thing on there. So go ahead, take your screwdriver, take this off. Otherwise, this is going to interfere with the mounting block that your wheelie bar actually mounts into. Go ahead and remove that. And I would suggest getting some high strength super glue of some sort. I'm using Gorilla Glue, and we're going to go ahead and put some on the back of here. Now, before I do that, let me just go ahead and show you guys how it's actually going to mount on the back end there. So on the back end of your chassis there, you have a relatively flat spot there. It's got some ridges on there. This one's still fairly flat. You may want to take a file or whatnot and file off any type of ridges, or just to scratch up the surface a little bit to help the glue adhere to it a little bit more. So on the back side of here, So these are the holes that the wheelie bars actually slide into. And then on the front side of it is that's where your glue is going to go. It's already got some ridges in there that kind of help the glue adhere to the part. So we're going to go ahead and hopefully not get any glue on my fingers, because it'll turn into a real sticky situation. Put a little dab on there. It doesn't take much. And then go ahead and center that on the back end of your car. Just like so. Now I did not get the quick setting Gorilla Glue, so this is going to take a little bit of time to cure. So while we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and let that sit. Make sure we don't move around on it. And then we're going to go ahead and make our wheelie bar itself. So on the one side of this block here, it's got the one side to where you actually stick the piece of metal into, and then you wrap it around whatever length you want it to, and adhere it to the however wide you want it to be, and then you finally rest it in this side here. So on my DHL one, I didn't cut any off, or at least I didn't cut very much off, and I went with the full length there, and it's I think that's a proper length for this type of car. So go ahead and slide that in there, kind of wrap it around. Oops, make sure it stays in there, and fumble fingers today, that's for sure. I'm gonna wrap it around the last end there and push it in. Make sure it's nice and tight. Is it a perfect wraparound? No, it's not, but there are ways to get around that. Take it back out. Take your pliers. Kind of square it up a little bit. And that's a lot better shape than what it was before. And you might notice it's a little long here. I'm going to go ahead and just clip the extra off. Like so. Now this is only going to, well, gosh dang it. I need to clip a little bit more off. Okay. So this is only going to insert just a little bit into the back end of the bracket itself. So this is attached to the car. This slides in like so. It only goes in maybe 1/8 of the way, so it's not very much. One thing I would suggest that you also stick some glue on these things here. They are very loose when you put them in there. And so if you don't stick them in there or stick glue on them, they're not going to fully set in there. And you run the chance of these things popping off down the track, and then that's just going to cause you some headache, some issues, a little bit of embarrassment, and then you're trying to sneak some glue on there before the next race. Okay, so that's pretty much that as far as how to bend these things around this little bracket here. And so that's just a quick, easy way to do it. If you're real handy with a pair of pliers, you could just go ahead and cut this to whatever shape you want, bend it whatever shape you want, whatnot. So we're going to go ahead and let this glue sit for a little bit. Make sure it fully cures, probably about 20 or 30 minutes, and then we'll come back And we'll glue that. We'll glue the bar in there. And we'll show you how to bend it to make sure that it's going to not fully touch the track, but leave a little bit of space in there so it's not totally off the track, but it's not really dragging on it either. All right, guys, so this thing has been set for a while. It's fully cured. It's not moving anywhere. So the next thing to do is be able to insert this into the back end there. And what we're going to do before we glue this in place, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and shape this. And it's better to do this now at this point in time versus gluing this in there and then try to reshape it, because you do run the chance of having to break this bond on here and then having to re-glue this whole piece and, you know, kind of start all over again. So what we're going to do is, I got it in there. You can see it's kind of sticking straight out. And I got a piece of track here. And you can kind of see how it's sticking up about a good 1/4 inch, maybe a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead and we'll remove this piece, kind of bend it to where we need it to go. Then we'll re-glue it and reinsert it back into the mount there. Go ahead and pull that off. I'm going to go ahead and just give her a little bend, kind of right in the middle, about so. And you don't really have to bend it a whole lot to make much of a difference. So you can kind of see there how it's kind of bent a little bit. And you guys might want to do it a different way or whatnot, but this is just something I learned a little bit in putting these things together. So you kind of see how it's bent, and that might have been bent enough. And now it's kind of about I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, whatever. Go ahead and bend her a bit more. I think that should do that. That looks pretty flat myself. Go ahead and reinsert it back in there. Make sure it's snug. And now it's just barely above the track there, which is kind of where you want it. You don't want it totally dragging on the track. You don't want any sort of resistance, but yet you don't want it too far above the track either to where it's still going to de-slot and come out and just not do its job. So yeah, I might bend it just a bit more, but yeah, there's like maybe a 1/16 space in there. Just a little bit of a bend. That was probably too much. Nope, I think that's just about right. It's just barely touching, but I don't think it's going to cause any sort of resistance at all. And it's actually helped lower that front end a little bit further down. So we'll go ahead and we'll pull this back out. And I just put just a little bit of dab of glue on both sides just to make sure that both sides stick in there. Make sure you don't get any on the rest of the car. And we'll just let it sit like that for a little while. All right, guys, so this has been sitting for quite a while. It's nice and firm. It's not moving around. Last thing you need this thing to do is this whole attachment to come off when you least expect it. So we're going to go ahead and put put the body back on it, and then we're going to send it down the track and see if there's any improvement. And you can kind of see how it's supposed to sit. I guess the only drawback I would have to say is that once this thing is on, I mean, it's in there, and depending on how your storage is, you have to keep that in mind, that once this is on, it might not fit back into whatever type of storage you are storing your cars in. So whether you just got it sitting on a shelf or in a case like I've got a case that has the foam inserts to where you can cut and remove them or pull it out to whatever shape you need it to be to put your car in there. So that's something I've had to modify, is my storage. But other than that, go ahead and put it back on the track here. And that's how it's supposed to be. Or at least that's how I've made mine to be. And yeah, let's go ahead and put it on the drag strip and see how it does. All right, guys, so as you see in the video, absolutely no wheel hoppage at all, as it was previously. This thing hooked up and connected just right and performed really, really great. I think it even might have dropped some of my ET times down a little bit, and maybe picked up a little bit on the old miles per hour. But I'll definitely be ordering up a couple more of these. I've got like 10 other funny cars to stick them on. So and the only drawback is I'll have to modify my storage space and my case, but that's not a big deal. Well worth it. Like I said earlier in the video, fairly inexpensive, and yeah, definitely gonna be ordering up some more. I did not notice any drag marks on the tracks to where it would be dragging and causing any defects in the track at all. I mean, it shouldn't. I mean, it's fairly light metal, barely touching the track itself. So, man, I hope this answers some questions for some people, and be looking forward to do another video here pretty soon on adapting the 4-gear adapter to a Viper scale car. And I've got a Bracket Master car that I believe that is going to be going on. And if I can put that 4-gear adapter onto my Bracket Master car, then I'm going to see how it adapts to the funny car bodies, and then might be switching over from Jag to Viper scale for my funny cars. So we'll see how that runs. I know there's some tornadoes hitting the Midwest and the southern regions, so I hope that's not affecting any of you guys, any of my viewers or whatnot. So stay safe out there. Get you some of this. Get you some of these wheelie bar kits and get some racing done. Thank you.